that will affect the outcome of your future, and perhaps the future of many, many others. Most of the times, the people making these decisions are our parents. When we think of our parents, we usually imagine caring and loving homemakers who have our best at heart. But sometimes I wonder, do they always make the best decisions for us? One important decision, or perhaps the most important after healthcare, are the decisions they make regarding their child's education. Should little Johnny go to preschool? Or which kindergarten is best suited to develop his artistic skills? St. Mary's? Sacred Heart? Or St. Moore? Today I would like to inform you about the facts of an alternative form of education, which 3% of American families have opted for. Homeschooling, the education of their children inside the home. In Europe, public education started with the Reformation around 1524, and this was home-based. This continued to be the norm until the 1830s, when formal classroom education became the most common. Then, in the 1960s, John Rushdoony pushed for home education to combat the non-religious public school system of the United States. Why do so many parents do this? I have found two main motivations. Firstly, the dissatisfaction with the local schools available, and secondly, the wish to be more involved with their child's development. There's also the wish that they would like a specific religious or moral position to be taught to their children. So, what are the pros and cons, the fors and against of homeschooling? Parents feel they should be able to choose the learning method and content of their child's education. With homeschooling, the method of teaching can be customized to his or her learning level, style, and interest. The reasons I have found for parents choosing this method of education are because either the child has physical or mental issues, other special needs, religious or moral reasons, and, once again, concerns with the school environment. On average, homeschoolers scored about 37 percentile points above public schoolers, and high school-aged homeschoolers had a GPA of about 3.74, higher than their counterparts. 17% go on to higher education. On the other hand, critics of homeschooling question the socialization skills of such children. A study by John Taylor has shown that only 10.3% of such children had high self-confidence in themselves, compared to the 50% from conventional schools. The National Education Association of the United States are opposed to this form of education, as it tends to indoctrinate the child and creates a situation where the parent regards their child minds as theirs, wishing to keep them under control. In Germany, homeschooling is legal, and it was ruled by the German federal courts that it was even a form of child abuse. In many other countries, it is considered not socially acceptable or desirable. In Australia, this form of education must be registered and open to inspection at any time. The same as in Israel. In Brazil, it is not even considered a legitimate form of education. I have been able to find statistics from respected research studies which back both sides, the fors and the against. A study by Dorothy Moore has shown that formal classroom education damages the child academically, socially, mentally, and even sometimes physically. Another study has shown that homeschooling creates excessive bonds, which make it very difficult for the child to adapt to the outer world in the future. Many young actors, athletes, and musicians are homeschooled to accommodate their training and practice schedules. But do we really know the long-term effect on these young people? Perhaps a great musician, but a lonely and isolated personality. Who can tell? I have presented to you with only a fraction of the information and research available about homeschooling. But given the information, it is up to you to decide on the merits of this form of schooling. Thank you.